Sulfur is a game that I've recently become absolutely obsessed with. The art style is so inviting, the music slaps, and this gun customization is better than eating a freshly toasted Pop-Tart off of a hooker's ass. With over 100 oils providing varying weapon stat enhancements, 35 scrolls ranging from turning your gun to a flamethrower to adding homing bullets, and 45 different weapons that are fully customizable with all of those things, plus chamber chisels, suppressors, scopes, and laser sights? The hell are you doing? Stop watching this video and go buy Sulfur right now. What's that? You've been reading reviews saying the game is way too hard? I don't mean to sound like your last bar fling or anything, but I don't think it's hard enough. You think I just got lucky with RNG? I mean, I just bought a corpse maker like anybody else. I understand the loot luck is variable, but you don't need awesome loot to beat this game. Prove it. It's in the title of the video. Well, obviously I'm going to. So the rules are simple. I'm only allowed to use the starter sword, the walkie-talkie, for the whole run. I am not allowed to use any weapons or armor because the melee and speed boosting armor bonuses would honestly just make this game too easy. Every area will be started with an empty inventory, so any food I have stockpiled from caves will get thrown out before we go to town. No trinkets, no throwables, no purchasing items from vendors, and to prevent this from looking like some hardcore parkour simulator, I must kill every single enemy that engages me. Obviously, there's some enemies like the sniper at the top of town that I just can't access with melee, but this rule is in place to actually make this challenge a challenge. So, without further ado, my name is Taco, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing, and you're watching
MTV Cribs. Let's go.
Cool, with our inventory looking emptier than my friends list, let's drop right into caves and drop straight through the cave apparently. So, I considered restarting already, but as long as our enemy luck isn't absolutely abysmal, missing a quarter of our health in a level like this should be perfectly fine. There are 7 levels in this area, and while everything's procedurally generated and random what you might get, the first sections are usually shorter and simpler, while the later levels typically pack a lot more enemies. That being said, we should have more than enough time to heal up before we face any actual challenges. So just like the cast of Wicked 2, we are in desperate need of finding food, so we are scavenging for any supplies that we can use to cook up some better healing foods. We're gonna hold on to our stick, bread, and mystery meat for recipes later, but we'll eat the bark bread since I don't know if it combines with anything. Hey cool, a human lung just sitting in a random box. Really feels like I'm back in San Francisco. Shout out to the 415. The extra lung and silver spoon can't be used in our run, but I'm still gonna sell it afterwards for the main game. These little purple butt plugs, however, are some of the most abundant food sources in caves. They only heal 1 health, but they can be combined with other items like our stick to heal 15 health instead. That's one nutrient-dense piece of wood.
That's what she said!
These puppies right here are worse than my YouTube videos. One slip up and they will turn your balls into a chew toy. Are food ASMR videos still popular on YouTube? Hope you got headphones for this awesome mukbang content. Shout out to the homie Dot. Dude makes great Sulfur content, but unlike him, I'm gonna be a real homie and not kill these civilians. Yo, this baby must have been breastfed by water talk creators. There's so many artificial dyes in its blood that it became poisonous. I know what you're thinking. You're sitting there wondering why the hell is this guy not healing, and the answer is simple. I don't know. Really doesn't seem to matter though, because we end up finding the exit anyways. I'm pretty sure I passed up a bunch of cauldrons earlier, but now that we're in level 3, I'm finally gonna use one. Learning recipes in this game will greatly enhance survivability, and while you can look up guides online, I think it's really fun to just experiment with things early on in your gameplay. Also, just wanted to mention that there's a visual bug that shows how much I would heal from an item even outside the menu. Doesn't affect anything, but I just wanted to bring it up for consistency's sake. There's a few different melee strats that we'll be utilizing throughout this playthrough, and this Drunken Waltz is one of them. Circling an enemy will not guarantee that we don't get hit, but it does reduce the chances, so it works out better than nothing. Just like the TikTok blooded baby, this glowing guy will have extra health and be imbued with an elemental mutation. He also wants to cosplay as Harry Potter apparently. We can't use this blue bandana at all for our run, but I do need it for a quest later, so I'm going to be dropping it off in our storage box. This is another one of our attack strategies, specifically for these spear goblins. I just call it poking. You attack them once to bait their attack animation, and after they follow through, you can land your last 2 hits if you got sufficient space. You can kinda do the same thing with the dogs and babies, but their lunge attack is a lot quicker, so it's a lot more difficult to time. So now that you pretty much got the gist of the caves, I am going to speed through quite a bit of this because there is a lot of filler and uneventfulness. I do want to show, just for transparency's sake, that while I'm not going to be buying anything from this vendor, I am going to be selling some of the garbage that I've just been collecting for money. Alright, and this brings us to one of our most prominent melee strategies that will help us a lot more in the difficult levels. Hiding in the corner and swinging for the fences. Utilizing your environment and funneling enemies into your attack range is a pretty cheap strat, to be honest, but extremely useful if you're dealing with groups. You can also utilize the coverage of the walls when using the poking strategy, because the enemy will just bounce off the physical boundary, protecting you from their strike. And don't feel guilty if you have to cheese a fight, because this camping ass toddler is chilling at the top of the stairs like the chick from The Grudge. The enemies won't fight fair, so my lips won't smack fair.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
These thick boys were really well designed for teaching new players enemy attack timing. Their movement is very well choreographed, so it's easy to dodge and get a few swings in between. In all honesty, even in a standard run, I prefer to kill these guys with melee versus actual weapons. It just functions so much better, especially with the defense. And ordinarily, these guys don't piss out toxic waste like this guy's been doing. He just has a mutation, probably from consuming too much Taco Bell or something. And that's a 5k drop. So, I don't know what it is, and spoiler alert I guess, because there's points that I use this to my advantage in dungeon, but enemies seem to bug out a bit when they're jumping around. It seems to put a delay on when they're able to attack, so you could put that in your Wasteland Survival Guide, I guess. They call me the broke Nikocado Avocado. So now that we're in Caves 5, we get to see more mutated goblins. There's a fire archer and a hot-blooded stick licker. Got me feeling hot-blooded, am I right? One annoying thing about the enemies with chemical blood is that you gotta wait a whole ass tick-tock before the environmental damage goes away. And you could tell I'm an amateur at this game because I try to wait out that time by utilizing the cauldron, which pauses time in the game. I just edited out 35 seconds and guess what? Still waiting. So, how was school? Did you learn anything in your gender studies class today? We should just abolish gender norms completely and let people live the way they want? Hey look, the lava's gone. They're using the civilian like a shield, like it's Soviet Russia. Paka suka. There's literally no consequence if I kill them, but I still feel guilty if I do. I have no idea why, but I try to spare the chickens when I can too. Our inventory is overflowing with food, but don't get used to it, the other levels will not look like this. Alright, now it's time to play our jump rope simulator, our mini boss battle. And right off the bat, I'm doing this pretty poorly. I'm staying a little too close and I'm really messing up my timing, so you can see it just eating away at my health with each jump. When the thickie splits into 3, you can land a good number of swings on all of them, but if you see them start to jump out of synchronization, it's best to distance yourself and try to bait them into jumping at once. I messed up some of this, and I'm playing on controller, so you could see I was trying to open up my food menu, but instead I hit the up directional button, which pulls out the necklace. Luckily though, we got a ton of food, and we just really don't get punished in caves. We pull off the fight, and there's no good drops. So, we continue on our way. Dropping into Cave 6, this is typically where they introduce a new enemy type. It's the Goblin Mages, which are slightly more difficult, maybe not that guy, but they utilize elemental attacks and they don't have the slow wind-up like the archers do, so they could just spam attacks at you. If they do catch you, it does do some damage. I should have just let one of these fuck me up just to show for the video, but I wasn't thinking. This dude with the bad boy aura has the ability to end any run. When they die, they become any random monster in the game, one of those having 99,999 health, and if I could hypothetically land a hit on them every single second, it would take me 22.5 minutes of perfect play to continue this run. Rooms like this are good ways of practicing for later areas of the game because you will constantly have enemies of varying attack speeds absolutely swarming you while you have other homies just chilling in the back trying to snipe your ass. Also, I think the point of the mini mutation that Big Mac Jump Rope has is to make him harder to hit, but it just throws off my timing for his ground pound animation. Continuing through the caves, I finally get hit by an elemental wizard. Cool, right? Alright, let's drink some water. Look, in all honesty, I don't even know why I hyped these guys up. I probably have a better chance of dying by tripping on their robe. Oh, there we go. We got hit. That's 2. Yeah, that should be the next Sulfur challenge. Play through the entire game without taking any damage. We're super stocked up on food, so let's take a page from Kevin Gates and go fuck up Cousin. I love the NPCs in this game. There is so much dialogue that you get to explore. One of the options says, "I hope that's mud," and Cousin says, "Mostly." So if you touch his little shit bath, you actually take damage. So the trick to this is timing your jumps properly or standing on the edge of the bricks. I'm pretty sure you could do that. I haven't had enough practice in this fight, just melee only, but I know that there's certain spots that you could just stand on. This guy just looks like Shrek's wet dream. Can you imagine how bad this room actually smells? I think I found iDubbbz' next Halloween costume. Honestly, watching this fight back looks far worse than how it felt when I was actually playing it. I eventually find a sweet spot where I can just hit him without jumping or landing in the damage pool, but we have so much food and the fight is pretty forgiving compared to the rest of the game. This is only my second time ever attempting this fight, melee only, and the first time I had armor, so getting the positioning right was honestly pretty tough. But with enough practice, you could easily make this challenge a breeze. So even in my normal cave runs, I pretty much always use melee for the hordes he summons. The attack range of the Wakizashi is just fantastic for clearing out the fodder. One thing about doing this fight naked is that it takes forever. Cousin has 5,000 health and your sword only does 75 damage, so that is 67 perfect hits plus invincibility phases and cannon fodder waves. As much as I love this boss fight normally, in a challenge run it just completely drags. Doing the last couple sequences in this fight, I will say that if you utilize your circle maneuvers while slashing the goblins, it will help you dodge Cousin's backdoor special. I actually do a better job at hitting him outside of his damage area as well, so if you are going to attempt this challenge, I highly recommend practicing safe spots on the bricks. Just a few more hits and we'll finally be done with the first area of this game and get to move on to something that's actually a challenge. If you're playing this game for the first time, I would recommend running caves quite a few times before you move on to the next area. You can get some really good weapons and loot. And, oh shit, I shot the gun. No, challenge failed. And here's our finishing inventory. It's time to go to town on town. You can see here that all the loot that we collected from caves was completely dumped. This is the way that we're going to start all the levels moving forward. Town can be very scary for a lot of new players. It does introduce brand new enemy types. The melee guys have a very short attack range, so I actually kind of treat this like I'm playing Skyrim or Oblivion. The Wakizashi has a larger attack range than these guys, so if you moonwalk at a steady pace, they're basically the easiest enemies in the game. Food is pretty hit or miss in this area. Sometimes you could really luck out in these buildings, but we're stuck with our trusty butt plugs for now. Definitely not the prettiest starting inventory. I didn't want to use it a lot in caves, but these Call of Duty quarter camping strats are practically necessary to survive in town. So you can technically encounter more, but town primarily has 4 enemies. Lame-ass Mr. Giggles over there, a lot of the dogs that we caught a glimpse of in caves, you got the world's worst sniper up there, and then there's these assault rifle guys that can absolutely obliterate your health if you're as reckless as me. While it's not reliably common, you can get some really good food drops from the humans in town. Look at this guy trying to be sneaky around the corner. Surprised you weren't giggling about your little hiding spot, bud. We're not getting a whole lot of luck in these buildings right now. Got a nasty ass gonster though. This health potion will bring us to full health whenever we need it. Sorry, Pollito. I feel so guilty for killing animated chickens. Here comes PETA. It's fine, you know, I deserve it. Shoot me in the back. I got a DoorDash for the Phantom of the Opera. Oh, my bad, man. I forgot your drinks. Here, you guys can have my gonster, okay? So most of town is going to be us running into too many enemies and trying to lure them back into a corner so we can funnel them efficiently. We got a whole ass breakfast just sitting on the floor. Welcome to MasterChef episode 32, the only cooking show with no cooking. Told you guys I work in fast food. Alright, we made it to level 2. The majority of areas moving forward are going to have 5 levels instead of the 7 like caves. But, unlike caves, these levels are going to be packed to the brim with so many more enemies. Does anybody actually have just random bookshelves sitting around in their neighborhood? Is that a Swedish thing? Check out this MLG power play right here. See, I didn't need that health anyways. Our inventory is still looking pretty underwhelming, but that health potion makes up for most of it. PETA, forgive me for I have sinned. I have seen the error of my ways and I will no longer make animated chicken McNuggets. But I'm environmentally unconscious, so I'm still gonna litter. Town is just full of Reddit mods. They completely break down if they show their face in public.
Oh, hi, doggy.
Alright, that's it. You could shoot at me, you can no rush in a bunch of innocent civilians, but you don't hurt my homie Mr. Chicken. Gotta love all this loot we can't use. Any other player would probably be happy with this. Following my native heritage, we're gonna honor this chicken we slaughtered and turn him into some bomb-ass wings. I got a super hot take, but I kinda hope they buff these giggle pusses. The goblin mages were far more threatening to our run.
Hi, doggy. Oh, hi, Mark.
2 taps and we already lost half of our health. Supposedly they nerfed the dogs before I ever even got this game, so there was a world where they were way worse. Smells like ego and the unbathed. Oh shit, another Redditor. The cost. I want to say that's a Blood Diamond reference, like the cost of luxury. I could be completely wrong though. These corner strats are like Sex Panther. 50% of the time, it works all the time. What the hell was this guy expecting to hit with that swing? I honestly feel bad. The Goblin Mages are up 2-0 on these Bruiser guys. Hey bud, imagine how cheap it would be if it actually let me cut him through the ceiling. Guess we cut through the stairs instead. Oh hell yeah, party in the parking lot. Why the hell does the guy with the gun charge me, but the dude with the melee weapon keeps his distance? He just understands that I'll never land a hit on me. Moving on to level 3, we're about halfway done with this area, but honestly our inventory isn't looking the greatest. It's a long shot for caves for sure, but that health potion, still gonna be a lifesaver. And holy shit, if I keep playing like this, we're gonna have to use it sooner than later. Anybody want to take the controller from me? Should have put the gun down and joined a basketball team, big boy. Oh hell no, what did you say about my gaming abilities? Sorry, it was self-defense, I had to protect my ego. These guys kind of remind me of the Strangers, if the Strangers were completely stoned out of their mind and hired on Craigslist. Remember the other Sex Panther 50% possibility? I'm surprised we didn't die right there. With how bad I am, it's amazing that I ever made it through this. Looks like it's finally time to pop that potion. Anybody want to team up with me when co-op gets released? Yeah, I didn't think so. Food! Money! Shit I shouldn't bother picking up. Sulfur has a merch store, but they don't sell to the US. I would love to buy a hoodie with that famous painting on there. Hey, it's that guy I said I couldn't kill. Peanut butter sandwich. I can live like 5 more seconds now. Yeah, what's up, Bill? How's the kids? Yeah, see ya, bro. We'll get some gonsters later. These have a chance to automatically blow up, so we got lucky. You can't outsmart me, game. I know you're hiding some nasty-ass food up here. Fried blood pudding? Please tell me that's not real. I'm scared of these damn dogs now, dude. Oh hey, some random food items just sitting on the floor from chickens I definitely didn't kill. Guess I can't let them go to waste. And it looks like I'm gonna be waiting in this corner for like the next 20 seconds. You guys sure you don't want to co-op with me? I could be the bullet sponge. Remember the poking strategy in caves and bouncing off of physical objects? Dogs defy physics. I know my horrible gameplay makes town look really tough, but the next 2 areas are going to be way harder and they took me way more attempts to beat. If any esports teams need a bullet sponge, I'm off Tuesday, Wednesday. Luckily I still got 3 purple butt plugs, so we're ready for town 4. Once again, for transparency purposes, I'm going to show that I'm selling my items, but I'm not going to buy anything from Grossberg. Also, am I wearing a backpack or is that blood pudding just sitting in my pocket? So like the genius you all know I am, I just remembered Grossberg always has a stove next to him so we can finally make some meals. Look, they're so happy to see me, the townspeople are cheering me on. Yeah, let me just down some Smirnoff to remove the poison, that makes sense. The dogs and assault rifle guys continue to kick my ass, but these bruiser guys are just glorified civilians. Maybe if they had poison blood they could do something, but something's gotta change. Give them a lunge attack. I swear I'm just swinging the sword like I actually downed a bottle of Smirnoff.
did. I did not hit her.
See, the dogs don't always demolish me. Find yourselves a corner that loves you like this corner loves me. Bullets can potentially clip through walls, so just be careful of that when you attempt this challenge. Are you pissing on that wall or something? What are you doing? God, I wish I could buy that hoodie. Homie brought the whole ass block with him. No pun intended. This fight got me feeling like John Wick right now. Post-retirement. And instead of killing my dog, they stole my Tamagotchi. So we may be low on food, but at least we got the 2 Gonsters still to drown our tears later. Hey, the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe it's a sign. Oh, we are more than ready for that boss battle. You ever just feel like something bad's gonna happen?
Oh, hi, Mark.
And our shitty inventory just got shittier. I literally feel like I could just do this all day. How many bruisers does it take to land a single hit? The world may never know. Where's the butt plugs when you need them? That's not helpful. One of these days, man. And cool, we're poisoned. Okay, never mind. I guess the soda will be helpful. Have I inspired you to prove that you're better than me yet? The world needs more sulfur content. So caves took me 1 try. Town actually took me 3 tries to beat this. The fucking sewers? I swear I ran it like 14 times. And dungeon was even worse. The bruisers might actually be in the game to help the player because they can block some of the other enemies' attack animations. I feel like somebody's gonna be mad that I just left that SOCOM 9 on the ground. You guys excited for another cooking mini game? Well, that was it. Oh nice, my audience has arrived. You want one too, pal? In tonight's episode of Hell's Kitchen, dumbass YouTuber makes a Spanish omelet. Alright, it's boss battle time. This fight is far more streamlined than Cousin, but just like Cousin, we're gonna Kevin Gates their ass.
You gotta eat that motherfucker.
No, I eat egg.
But little did young Taco know, it was his ass that was about to be destroyed. Pretty sure I'm doing damage. Oh shit. I was gonna save those gonsters for a celebration, but let's just celebrate that I'm still alive somehow. So we got one of them at least. We're completely out of damn food, but hey, 2 to go. Holy shit, I ate a quest bar and I turned into Usain Bolt. So just a quick little fun fact, I was extremely nervous doing this because I've never tried this fight melee only before. Going pretty well though, we're down to 1 more enemy. Dude, that power bar is a fucking cheat code. Wow. And there you have it, there's town. Time to move on to the even harder levels. If she ever makes fun of you for playing Sulfur, sue her. So unlike the other levels, Sewers actually doesn't have a boss. Instead, we just get swarmed by really hard-hitting enemies. So we still have all the same enemies from town, but we also get introduced to what is essentially like the Flood from Halo. Just corrupted versions of the goblins and the humans. And fucking Houdini apparently. How the hell did you do that, dude? So just like town, food doesn't feel incredibly abundant in the sewers. Occasionally you'll get lucky, but we need to try to conserve what we can. Ow! I'm always constantly spamming the collection button, but I never pick up what I need. Come on, people, flush your groceries down the toilet for me. Did you guys see that? They finally hit me. All it took was me being stuck in the shitty piss water. I really don't want to think about picking mushrooms out of the sewers and then eating them, but bottoms up. This surströmming is apparently fermented herrings that are banned for export because the acids continue to ferment the fish and create gases that can explode in their containers. I most likely butchered that word, but hey, the more you know. We're gonna pick this up because it's worth a good amount of money, and honestly, I don't think we're ever gonna fill our inventory with enough food. The caves had a good amount of underwater treasures that we never bothered to search for because our inventory was loaded with food. Sewers, however, we're gonna be diving in any puddle we can find. These guys are probably the second worst mutation for this melee run. Every time you hit them, they teleport and deal electric damage to you while continuing to shoot. Honestly, it's amazing this wasn't a reset, especially since it seems like the game really hates me right now. The only thing we find in this level is a frog leg, and we're off to section 2. This spawn always has mushroom butt plugs, so at least that's 6 out of our 100 health recovered. Hey, underwater oats! We managed to find ourselves a cooking station, and while we don't have much to work with, it's way better than nothing. And every time I cook, it brings an audience. You know that this is going to be the failing run when the bruiser gets 2 hits on you. But even though it seems like we're really down on our luck, we end up getting a first aid kit out of a random box. I don't know exactly what my mindset was when I was playing this, but I'm pretty sure I was just contemplating using the first aid kit, but I decided to save it. And no, that's not Mr. Hanky down there, that's one of the mutated enemies. So these guys hit like a truck. There's a melee type and there's a range type. One guy throws his feces at us from afar, and this guy, you kind of just treat him like the bruiser. You could kind of moonwalk and outpace them. As for the corrupted goblins, they're pretty much the same thing as the spear guys, just more health, and I'm pretty sure they deal more damage as well. And this right here is pretty much how sewers just goes. You will get hoarded by enemies. That's it. Now that everybody's dead, time to just spam the X button and walk over them. Quick little fun fact, these little frog guys aren't too bad. If they do end up poisoning you, if you just jump in the water, the poison washes away. I don't honestly know if the elemental bloods are going to affect us while we're in the water, but hey, I'm not going to risk that. These guys are really easy to deal with. I'd say the only thing you got to worry about is getting flanked or just making sure you don't run out of air. I'm pretty sure this guy's supposed to be one of the giant enemies, but they're so damn tiny it's hard to tell anyways. The humans and the corrupted will fight each other, so if you see dead bodies laying around, usually means you're about to get ambushed. Playing off the jump mechanics I mentioned in caves, baiting these guys in and out of the water can be really good for getting some free hits. I just wouldn't risk it with the feces flingers that look exactly like the melee guys. Ooh, and we just hit a potential jackpot. Or maybe not. Not exactly the items you want in a harder level like this, but I guess it's better than nothing. Looking for the plug? I am the plug. You guys hear that ticking? That is the worst possible mutation we could have gotten in this run, and hey, because the rules are you gotta kill everything, we gotta kill that man too. I like how the other guy's also just kind of stuck in the water. Alright, we're at full health and half health. Anytime we encounter them, I basically have to just take a fat L. Stay tuned for dungeon when we fight like 3 more of those guys. Game really does love giving us this butt plug room, don't they? I feel like such a child just hiding behind the pillars and swinging and hoping, but when it comes to survival, gotta do what you gotta do. We take way too much damage if we get hit by anything, and we've got hardly any food to recover it. So if I'm gonna play like a baby, I'm gonna play like the baby in Walmart. Pew pew. Get a room, you two. There's too many gooners in these goddamn sewers. I love how these little green goobers just swim and sink. These guys are gonna be popping out the water like Team Rocket.
Jesse!
James. Hi, doggy.
And speaking of doggy, these things take out half of your health. Food stamps don't buy sewer food, okay? I'm running low. Looks like we're just taking on the entire swim team right now. Good thing they can't lunge underwater. They're typically a lot easier to fight that way. Come on, any hour now. You're not the guy who was following me. Where the hell's the... Oh, okay, there he is. Guys got any other friends that want to jump out of the magic toilet? Oh, I probably just stole those Jordans from that goblin. He's gonna be pissed. What, homie? You scared of the water? I don't know what's worse. Bathing in water like that or never bathing at all. Doing a bit of backtracking, I saw a hole down here that hopefully isn't gonna obliterate us like the last one. And just like that, I'm out of health again. Waiting to get some better ingredients so we can make some recipes with some of that stuff. I'm picking up the hell and back, but once again, just to sell. And of course I run away and do this extensive lore just to one-tap them. Let's see if this room is worth the food we wasted on it. Nothing. Food! And a stick! And more nada. All in all, was it worth the food we wasted on it? No, not really. Oh, but that absolutely is. Honestly, I think I see our luck turning a little bit around. Even though I kind of preface this video as not being luck-based, but hey, we need food regardless. Alright, we finally got some ingredients to cook with. Who doesn't like chicken nuggets? And even if you're vegan, I've had chickpea nuggets that were legitimately better than the real thing. Moving forward a bit, we finally find the amulet pool. And we almost completely eat shit too. What is this, PE? We don't have time for a dodgeball minigame. So, we're going to have to deal some damage to these guys before we funnel them. Otherwise, we're just going to get completely overwhelmed. The Cthulhu turd ball guys take 6 hits to take out, so just using corner strats won't be nearly enough. Jumping between safe spots is most likely going to be our best bet. Even for having the world's most pathetic pimp slap, these dudes pack a lot of power. These elemental dudes would ordinarily pose much more of a threat to us because they have double the health and hit harder. But honestly, that icy trail he left us really helps us clear this horde. So it's hard to deal in hypotheticals, but there was a strong possibility we might have gotten overwhelmed and killed right there if he didn't slow everybody down. I mean, either that or we would have been safe spot backtracking all the way back to the start of the level. God, and every time we look, there's just one more guy popping up. They're not threatening to us, but it feels like customers trickling in as soon as your restaurant's about to close. Tedious. If I was paying attention instead of organizing my inventory, we probably wouldn't have taken that unnecessary hit right there. Come on, I can almost grab these. Is this how it feels to go grocery shopping as a vertically challenged person? You saw how I abused that chair and you still wanted to come at me? I'm flattered. I'm hoping if I eat these fast enough, I might win a t-shirt. Oh, you saw what happened to your buddy, huh? You're running? I've never had tube caviar, so I can't judge it, but as an American who consumes things that are probably only 50% food, that shit sounds nasty. Good thing I can wash away this poison in the public piss water. Hey, some bottled caviar. I know it's just a different container, but I'd rather eat food out of a glass than an old tube of toothpaste. Alright, let's make some room in our inventory and drop off these sulfurs. And now let's immediately decide to sell our junk to the Rat Queen that's right next to where I was. I think these things through. Remember, if we couldn't make recipes, it'd be rest in peace. Now they're throwing stuff at me out of jealousy. When you hit these guys, there's a very subtle woodblock sound effect. Hey, our homie's back to help us with our run. I've been secretly playing co-op with the ice dudes this whole time. I've actually been paying these guys in beans, but just like any corrupt CEO, that payment comes full circle, baby. I love the developers and all, but I hate you for this kidney stone food item. That shit is so gross. Don't worry, dude. I'm not the homie Dot. You get to live another day, okay? And this is the final area of sewers. We're almost out of it. Hey, look. They finally decided to give us a room other than the bastion of butt plugs. And we don't find a single health item. Or so we thought. A DVD player. Hey, prayers go out to anybody who gets a DVD player for Christmas in 2025. Blu-ray players can play DVDs too, so they're practically pointless. So, looking back through my old footage, it actually took me 8 tries to beat sewers, and 5 out of the 8 runs actually ended here on the final level, so if you see me playing like a baby, it's justified. We're getting some decent drops, but nothing that actually benefits us in the challenge. This spaghetti would be nice if we could actually cook that. Also, I could have mentioned this like 10 minutes ago, but I think it's super cool that they filter and compress the music while you're underwater. It's the little things in life. 1,500 for the DVD player? Stiff leg, homie, you gotta get out more. There's this thing called the internet. Hi. Okay, bye. There's just this mound of corruption down there watching his buddies die. I'm considering getting these lurks for my next aquarium. The non-ugly version, of course. You know, outside of the first level, we haven't had to fight a single human. This entire sewers run has been pretty different compared to the other ones that I did, but hey, a win's a win. Even though the exit is right there, I honestly didn't believe it because this final level was so damn short. I just continued looting thinking that there was more. But there you have it, that was my sewers run. Went a lot better than my other attempts. 2 of my personal favorite failures in sewers were running into this virtually unkillable amalgamation and scurrying off like a lemur, leading myself to my own death. As embarrassing as this self-sabotage was, it went a lot better than this one. Yeah, we really don't like to think things through, do we? I may not have a stupid pun to start off this level, but we do have an awesome soundtrack to lead us to our doom. Dungeon consists of solely the human variants of enemies from town, but in much larger droves. And they add a lightning fast assassin type enemy that puts the damn dogs to shame. Look, I was so close to restarting already. If you would have told me after this abysmal start that this was going to be the game-winning run, I would have thrown my damn controller at you. That ice almost slowed us down enough to the point of dying, but since I pay them to be double agents, they come in clutch for us once again. In Chucklepuss's dying moments, he chose to kill his teammate instead of me. These hoes ain't loyal. These troop quarters are awesome for finding food, and to be honest, some of the only places we will ever find food. Who hides their paycheck in a wooden barrel? With enough luck, we might be able to find enough food to get back to neutral ground. Even with the food we picked up, I honestly wasn't healing because I was just waiting to die. What the hell? Good thing this guy accidentally left his gun on safety. The military is truly desperate for anybody they can get. Even though we get some useless gold coins in the boxes, it's so nice to see our red and purple friends again. Hey, and some overwater oats. Wow, look at that magnificent inventory. We almost have enough food to heal a dog bite. Garbage, trash, basura, and more proof that the game doesn't want us to win. I really hope you guys didn't get attached to our newly acquired health because it's time to lose it all. Hey teacher, can you just put me in a permanent timeout? I am perfectly fine with staying in this corner for the rest of the class. So you would think that a barrel or crate would contain a lot more than just a single bottle of water in it. Like, is Amazon packing these things? They always love to send me some huge ass box for something as tiny as just a phone charger. Despite finding a decent amount of ingredients, we still gotta find a cooking station to chef it up. I can eat everything we got right now and we just lose it all in the next room. Cool, we got ourselves some delicious mystery meat and some bread that, just like its shape, it's about to get ate. Don't touch my spam muscle, babe! Damn dude, chill. This is what happens when the iPad kids don't get their 6 hours of YouTube shorts and Angry Birds. I talked about buffing the bruisers in town, but in a level like Dungeon, just leave them where they're at. We're getting tossed around like the squirrel from Ice Age, and it's still only the first level. Oh, thanks for the wet wipes game. Guess I could wipe away my tears and burn out my retinas. Surprised we didn't end up running into any of these proximity mines in town, but luckily the trigger radius is extremely tight, so really don't have to worry about them. I don't want to jinx anything, but we've been getting luckier with the dogs. I'm not willing to risk my luck on these guys with guns though, so I will patiently sit in this corner until he comes to us. Hey look, it's Harry Potter and the golden figure of Tekashi 6ix9ine. Cool Easter egg game. With that, we finally make it to section 2 of the dungeon. I forgot that there's only 4 levels in this area, but my uncut recording of our run in dungeon was 43 minutes. To put things into perspective, Caves, town, and the sewers were around 24 minutes respectively. Hey, a dunce cap. I don't need to put that on to show that I'm stupid. The game really loves to give me this Christmas spice. It only heals 1 health, and to this day, I still haven't bothered to look up a single recipe that uses it.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Thank God the dogs want to bark at me before attacking, otherwise we'd be one dead-ass chew toy. I don't understand how the hell we keep surviving these encounters. Definitely not thanks to my lack of talent. Despite how low this bar is, I still have more health than confidence right now. I can't wait to watch somebody who's actually good at this game do this challenge. So at this point in the playthrough, I still wasn't expecting to beat this. I was hoping to hold out for a cooking station, but if we don't eat, we're definitely gonna die. Fuck the dogs. These cracked out assassins are the bane of any melee run. Good thing it's a stormtrooper shooting that gun. We should have lost way more health than that normally. This run was only 43 minutes because my grandma could outwalk this man.
3 hours later.
Without any armor to boost our movement speed or jump, this platforming can be pretty risky. Homeboy just seems to be stuck on his own little island over there, so honestly, we're just gonna leave him be. I don't think this is the way the platforming section was intended to be solved, but this has been the most consistent method of me not falling to my death. Later, buddy. Have fun giggling in solitude. These guys should have just pretended to be stuck like their friend. They probably could have lived a long, happy life giggling about it afterwards. Look, our inventory's full. Full of shit. Can we cook some of this, please? Come on. I knew Scrappy Doo was in here and I still got bit. Are we gonna get rewarded for our misfortune? Of course not. At least give me a box of peanuts. Where's Five Guys when you need it? No, damn it, not these Five Guys. Yo, this new Jujutsu Kaisen fight scene goes crazy. Yup, line them up. They call me the hash sling and slasher, baby. Homie resurrected himself as a ghost just to get his ass kicked again. A little late to the party, dude. All your friends already went home. Of course we get Christmas spice. Yo, imagine this dog just trips and tumbles down the stairs right now. I can't use any lead this round, but you'll still get a stairway to heaven. Or maybe I'm the one going to heaven. These bruisers are kicking my ass, okay? Maybe for all that shit I talked about them in town. Dungeons got me so on edge, every fight is sloppy. Tonight's dinner special consists of beans, hazelnuts, and water. Are we ever gonna find an oven? Our meals are getting prepped by kindergartners right now. This game's making me more of a cat person. Well, that's bomb number 2 this run. Surely we won't get a third. Easy. Alright, we gonna find any good food to make up for all that health we just lost? Fucking Christmas spice. All of that, and we're only on Dungeon 3. They say life is like a box of chocolates. Yeah, if chocolate was made out of Christmas spice, it's basically the spice of life. You know, if your life only had 4 HP. What irresponsible dog owner let this dog off their leash? Wait, never mind, I don't need to know. Here come the quintessential pit bull owners that refuse to neuter their dog. Well, that went better than expected. I don't remember door dashing a dragon roll, but sure, I'll be Trevor tonight. Man, every time I turn a corner. Luckily, the Unagi outheals the damage we just received. We're getting some food at least. And we're about to lose it as quickly as it came. Oh hell yeah, my co-op partner arrived. Thanks, bud. I swear, I love seeing this mutation. It's not meant to be beneficial, but in all honesty, it helps us every time. And what a homie, he even brought us food. At least it's just a couple bruisers and an assassin. Oh shit, Clifford. Hey, what happened? Did you get into Julian Fitzgerald's secret stash? Dude, that's way too much damage. Would be nice if we had some better options right now. Triplets? You couldn't have just settled for twins? At least then I could have made a Trend Twins joke. Wow, thanks game. You know how much I want to give up, so you gave me the bleach, huh? Well, doesn't heal anything, so we're dropping it. Finally, looks like we got some peace and quiet. Oh, there's a chuckle monster. Oh, shit! I have no idea how that didn't hit us, but hey, I'll take it. Alright, the poison didn't do a lot of damage. We could heal it off easily. Dude, we just can't seem to catch a break. I don't care what anybody says, I'm staying in this corner. Do I consider this good luck or bad luck? I mean, we're not dead, but holy shit. We might have to take a quick detour through caves if we want to continue this run. We end up finding one of the troop quarters, but there's hardly anything lootable. Hey, some pancakes and jam. And a fucking slipper, I guess I could chew on that. Oh cool, we found the next flood of enemies. Might I remind you that we still have a whole nother level to get through? And an entire boss fight? Time to eat some pancakes and jam. The closest thing to a meal we're gonna get since we can't find a damn cooking station. So, this is the moment I mentioned in caves where I realized I could exploit the enemy's jump programming to give myself a little bit of an edge. Even the bad guys like a little trampoline shenanigans. They keep jumping up and down and seem to never want to attack. For whatever reason, the dude with the gun doesn't want to come pogo with us, so we're gonna have to go pogo to him. Inside the side room, we get some shrooms and nothing else. So, we finally get to take a break from all the fighting and we do a bunch of jumping instead. Useless. Hey look, it's that thing that tells us that we're still not done with this level. That little drop down right there means that there's no turning back. So we really don't have anything on us to heal much, but we have a chance to change that. Nothing. Trash. Hey, our favorite. And oh cool, we got one good item. Cool, with all that, we're back to full health for another like 30 seconds probably. God, the fun never ends. You know, if I didn't include that jump cut, yeah, that was pretty much 30 seconds on the dot. I've been waiting for a damn cooking station so long now. And now that we finally found one, I have nothing to cook. We're finding better food than we can make. Trump, leave Mexico alone. It would be far more beneficial if you built a wall around these damn dogs instead. You could take these cartel wannabes too. If the groundhog pokes his head out and sees a swarm of enemies, it's 5 more minutes of hiding in the corner. What is this, an internet anarchist video? Our health bar just rises and falls. Hey, 'tis the season. Keep walking in that winter wonderland, amigo. I love it. It ain't a gonster, but I'll take some red wine to celebrate, I guess. Looks like the shrooms once again are our only peace of mind. Is this how it feels to run a relay? I mean, as long as there's no other enemies around, the bruisers are still the easiest enemies in the game. And of course, the moment I make fun of them, I get hit again. These assassin guys are bad enough on their own. Remind me to never make fun of them, okay? Finally, we're almost at the last level, but we still gotta scavenge for food to survive it. And that right there is probably some of the best luck we got all game. I've got no shame letting my sword clip through the wall like this. And cool, we got him. My man is so hungry he ate a whole ass bag of flour. Scavenging all the boxes in this room, all we get is an earthworm, so we're on to the last level now. You know, we've had worse inventories. You better have my bread or you get 8 on sight. What's up, doggy? Hey, what's up, other doggy? Hey, what's up, owner of the doggies? Alright, game, bless me with some good food. Not the holy toast, you can't even heal from that. Oh, hell yeah, Merry Christmas to me. I love losing half of my health. Good thing this time we actually have food to heal up on it. I'm actually an underground splatter paint artist. You guys like it? Oh, little doggy, how the tables have turned. So, despite the fact that I'm not that great of a gamer, I handled this next part flawlessly. Yeah, I don't mean to toot my own horn or anything, but even the game gave us a crown for that shit. Alright, and now that that's done, we're back to playing like a Bobo. You guys can revoke my MLG card, but I'm keeping this crown.
Epic food collecting montage.
You think all these guys just live here? What a boring ass life. No wonder why they're rushing to me for their death. Wish they got Danny Brown to do the laugh for the Bruiser Brigade. Real ones know what I'm talking about. I swear, I'm going to be stranded on a deserted island, desperate for food, and the only thing I'm going to find in this goddamn place is Christmas spice. So I think we're finally nearing the end of this level. But with the amount of retreating that I gotta do, we're gonna be closer to the start. I appreciate you guys helping me get my steps in, but you gotta let me circle back at some point. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Did you guys see that? Powdered Christmas spirit for making things jolly. I don't mean to sound like a Grinch, but I'll stick to Zoloft. Stupid Christmas spice. I'm getting a restraining order after this. I'm already married, but thanks for the $2,000. Rehode! Oops, sorry ladies, didn't mean to crash your slumber party. What'd you expect, fool? You brought a pillow to a knife fight. And I brought wall hacks to a LAN party. Alright, now let's see what kind of snacks you guys got. A rock? Oh, it's that kind of party. Let me just clone myself real quick. I feel like that omelet should be refrigerated. Oh shit, DJ Smokey brought another nuke in the building.
Legalize nuclear bombs.
Honestly, didn't know you could avoid getting damaged by that. Oh shit, it's little Zan. Dude, lay off the hot Cheetos, they're oozing out of your body. Mama always said don't play Tetris with your food. And now we finally arrived at the boss that, to this day, I still don't fucking understand. So while he's wearing this inverse clan hood, you could see that I'm landing hits on him, but when he mighty morphs into the buzzer from Family Feud, I have no idea what the hell is going on half the time. This is the first time that I've ever attempted fighting this guy with melee only, and the unedited version of this battle is 7.5 minutes long. So when he flashbangs the room like that, it means we penetrated his G-spot, but every other swing seems to do absolutely nothing. I feel like a goblin mage right now. All we're doing is playing Ring Around the Rosie. So the whole strategy is to wait until Duke Nukem throws his
balls of steel
while I reenact a NASCAR race around him. Each throw, I get to attempt like 1 to 3 hits on him and wonder if I'm going to do any damage or just tickle the sack of shit. If this fight looks insanely monotonous, it's because it truly is. He never moves from the spot, so it's literally just me running circles around him. He throws his ball, I swing like 2 times, it never does anything, and then repeat this for like 7 straight minutes. This fight is way more streamlined if you were playing the game normally with badass guns, but With how awful these hitboxes are with melee, I'm glad this is the only time I had to attempt this. With the way the 2D animation works, their bodies are always facing you, so it changes the way he moves, causing the ball to consistently retract into you. Buy me dinner first at least, dude. And make it a buffet at this point because he is demolishing our inventory. I'm gonna take a wild ass swing in the dark here and say I'm pretty sure this fight was not designed around somebody using the starting sword with 0 stat boosters. Dungeon is a really fun level playing through it normally, especially with like a chain lightning mossman, but holy crap, this fight sucks. The absolute worst part of this is how often I fail to actually land a hit on him. I cut out a good amount of it for both of our sanities because, trust me, it's really unbearable to watch this thing unedited. And with that, we are officially out of food. Honestly, I don't think I would have done this again if I ended up losing. The entire run up to the boss is bad enough. I don't know, maybe I could have recreated the fight in Castle or something. But, speaking of Castle, we finally beat him. Yeah, I was holding my damn head like that too after this fight. The fuck is that? Was he hiding that in his ass or something? And there's our beautiful finishing inventory. So, after watching that god-awful showdown with the Mace Knight, I figured I wasn't going to be the one to do castles since, as you can see here, you can fight 4 or even more of them in just 2 short levels. With practice, I'm sure the severe lack of food that we'd have wouldn't be as horrible as the dungeon fight, but the time it'd take to beat them all with multiple attempts just isn't for me. Plus, that'd be disregarding the hordes of other enemies that we'd have to fight, and the biggest elephant in the room, the boss. Anybody who hasn't played Sulfur or just hasn't attempted to do something stupid like me might be thinking that this is just a hard fight to beat with melee. And no, it's not that it's hard, it's that it's impossible. You can't reach her, not even jumping with jump boosting equipment. It's just, melee doesn't work in this fight at all. So this is where I was going to end the video, because the desert's really damn tough and Desert Claws is just like unbearable to do in the challenge run like this. The Shavwani folks just fucking obliterate your health and the boss is unkillable just like St. Lucia and Castle. And then I remembered, what about Forest? I was gonna think of a shitty pun for Forest, but I don't want it to sound forced. Despite the little intro clip, I actually forgot to drop the Dirk and the Father's shirt, so just ignore that over there. So before this challenge, if you would have asked me what my favorite level in Sulfur is, this probably would have been it. I absolutely love what becomes a more open environment with branching paths, event locations that have the potential to pop up on runs, and the horror theme throughout the area is just an awesome change of pace. People tend to hate these little birdies, but I personally don't mind them. I really like their design and the unique combat aspects that they bring to the game. While they're definitely a lot harder to hit, a melee run being no exception to that, they don't pack the same amount of unforgiving damage that the dogs would do. Plus, an area like Forest provides a ton of opportunity for looting health items to make up for the hits they land. I don't know, maybe I'm just making up excuses because I really like crows and animals in general. Not the way that other YouTubers do. Bandit oil? If they banned it, then why is it here? Somebody want to explain to me how the hell there's a carton of milk in there? These levels are so large that I cut out 3 minutes of mowing lawns and collecting shrooms already. I really love the enemy choice in Forest. The corrupted goblins fit perfectly in the haunted woods, but the new enemies that will be appearing later are even better. Also, unlike any of our other areas, we're already at a full inventory and we just started. Don't let this ease of recovery fool you though, because the enemies here will outdamage the rate that you can heal. And now it's time to say hello to Big Bird if he grew up in Chicago. I think they call these craws, I guess because nature copyrighted crows or something. Regardless, a group of crows is called a murder, and when these bastards group up on you, murder they will. Behind those beady little eyes is a boy who you must have bullied in middle school because he's back as a lumberjack to cut down your family tree. So, I actually have a really good strategy for fighting these guys, but for whatever reason, I'm actually not using it here. I don't know why, because despite our heavy stockpile of food, my awful gameplay is making us binge eat these things like the 1,000-pound sisters. This is a semi-live react, so hopefully I have some better footage in here to show you how to actually fight these craws. Back at the camp that we got ambushed at, we can use 9 of our rod sops to make healing potions, which will be our best method of survivability in the forest. Our goal is to stockpile the Mario mushrooms and utilize our other foods to heal ourselves when we need it. After about 4 straight minutes of uneventful looting, we make our 3rd health potion of the run. I love the way these little birdies sidestep. So our strategy for these little ship machines is a mix of serpentine backtracking and the poking strat from the spear goblins. We bait their lunge while moving either left or right and try to maintain a close enough proximity as they land to pull off about 1 to 3 hits. When the birdies start cuddling with themselves, they block all incoming damage, then leap with a damaging wind explosion. They can immediately lunge at you upon landing as well, so we need to react defensively to this movement. See that explosion of organs? When they leap, they can do some damage to nearby enemies as well, so sometimes it can play out beneficially for us. And thanks to the speed of the craws and the openness of the forest, we can handle them completely separate of the spear goblins to avoid getting ganked. Nothing like a lukewarm glass of expired milkshake. Should have played more defensively right there. Hell yeah, let's mix some jam with some mushroom soup. Doesn't that sound delicious? Next Sulfur challenge run, you gotta eat the same exact foods that your character eats, but IRL. Caca! Caca! Ah, caca. Fighting 2 of these guys at the same time can be tough, especially if you're impatient like me, but later in these levels, we'll be wishing we're only fighting 2. Their lunge goes so far that just backing that booty up like a dump truck ain't gonna save you from damage. You gotta lean with it if you truly wanna dance. I actually used to really want a pet crow, but I think this game is changing my mind on that. I was gonna make a joke about this being Birdemic 3, but they actually already made a 3rd one. Stepping in these tan piles of mud will slow down your character, so just be aware of that while fighting. The majority of these fights can actually be made easy if you treat it like a rhythm game. Too bad I ain't got none of that though. Did he think his scrawny ass arms would help him pierce the tree to hit me? So this run took me 40 minutes, but 30 minutes of that was just peacefully looting, so we're already on Forest 3. We got our inventory nice and full again because this was the most peaceful run out of the bunch. Juggling these 4 enemies is definitely going to change that though. So this right here is a quick scene from Forest Section 2 in one of my other attempts where I had just gotten through fighting 2 separate groups of 4 craws and now I'm getting ambushed for the 3rd time. See all that blood? That's just one of the previous battles. Sometimes you can position these trees perfectly to confuse the enemy AI for a moment, giving you some ample opportunities for free damage. Gotta love that the green gooner has double the normal amount of health and El Gigante over there has quadrupled that. As you can see by our inventory here, Forest isn't always a bountiful cornucopia. I wanted to include this bit of my other run just to show that Forest isn't typically the cakewalk that we had in our first 2 sections of our actual run. And just when you thought we were almost out of this fight, Octomom gives birth to 3 of the most mature toddlers I've ever seen. While this may have only been level 2 in one of my endeavors, I've also been obliterated in just level 1. These Terminators can spawn in any area of the game, and they prove why we need to eliminate AI while we still can. RIP to any new players who encountered these guys in caves. Snapping back to reality, while this fight may look a bit overwhelming, we are fully equipped to get through it item-wise. Mentally, after 4 straight hours of failing, not so much. Funny enough, my first attempt at Forest actually made it all the way to the boss, but then my game just randomly crashed and it deleted everything I had recorded. After that first attempt, I just got absolutely punished non-stop for hours and hours until I finally had this run. I played better in earlier attempts, but I was so sick of trying at this point. I should have practiced some Guitar Hero before this fight. Good thing we got more mushrooms than Asmongold's closet. It's not delivery, it's a lifesaver. When you use a pizza on a cooking station, you can break it into 6 individual slices that each heal you to full health. It's one of the absolute best healing items in the entire game. And given how we're playing right now, we're gonna need like 12 of them. While aesthetically fitting to the environment, the goblins really don't put up a challenge compared to the Kraws and the newer enemy we encounter later. Wow, we are so lucky the Kraws killed these Terminators already, otherwise this run would be a reset too. Although, if this electric dude was a teleporter, I think we'd have a better shot with the robots. You guys catch a glimpse of the new enemy creeping up on us right now? That right there is a face that not even a mother could love. Yeah, I'd be screaming too if I had to look at that. So unlike me, you definitely don't want to be up close to these guys while they're using their sonic attacks. I just wasn't playing in the right state of mind. You see those red tentacles in the ground? When the abominations launch that attack, they are incapable of doing anything else for the duration, so that is our safe moment to close the gap and swing. Of course I didn't do that though, because using our brain would make this too easy. Oh, hi, Mark. What the fuck? You're not Tommy Wiseau. So this has to be a bird that I was fighting earlier because homeboy died way too damn easy. The next time we find a campfire grill, we will be absolutely set. In the moment, it feels like a lot, but after cutting out all the foraging, these levels feel incredibly short. We're already on section 4. You know, at this point, I should just retire as a fast food worker and become a landscaper instead. You guys smell that? Oh, ew. It's the Guillermo del Toro version of the ugly duckling. Yeah, keep groping Mother Earth while I give you this haircut. Hey, don't get mad at me. My barber always says it'll just grow back. So I'm trying to utilize this circling strategy that's worked for me multiple times in the past, but it's just really not working for me. In other runs, I've been able to orbit around these guys and they just never end up attacking. See, I'm not playing bad on purpose. As long as you have enough space to retreat, you can always lure the Kraws a safe distance away from the abomination so you don't have to fight both of them at the same time. Since Garbodor's Mega Evolution doesn't want me running laps around him anymore, we're going to handle this fight in the actual safest way possible. We're going to bait his Rule 34 hentai attack and then beat some good old-fashioned dignity into him. While it does drag out the length of these fights quite a bit, a long run is still better than a rerun. And as I say all that, I get impatient and get absolutely destroyed. In this last enemy level of Forest, you can pretty safely bet that the game's gonna try to throw a lot more enemies at you than usual. And despite things not being as chaotic as some of my other endeavors, this level still has a lot more going on for it than the first 3 for sure. And despite some very imperfect slip-ups in our strategy, I am taking this a bit more serious at this point, I think. The plan here was to conserve more of our heavy healing items for the boss at the end of Forest, so I'm using the random scraps as much as we can. And look, I'm playing patient as well. Imagine how much better this run would actually be going if I just stayed patient and played smart like this the entire way through. Look at that, we actually preserved our health. It's almost like I passed the controller to somebody else. Exploring a bit deeper into Forest, we run into another group of Kraws that end up ravaging all that health we managed to save up. Pretty soon we're gonna have to start using our reserves. Oh look, he got bored and left. Yeah, of course that wouldn't actually happen. We still ain't out of the woods yet, and spoiler alert, the worst has yet to come. You know, as much as I want to rag on these abominations, whoever designed these guys did an awesome job. I also like how mechanically these enemies all have solid attack patterns that make melee-only combat very feasible. It can be pretty easy to forget during a run like this that, as of recording, this game is centered around 45 different customizable guns and is not meant to be played how I am playing. I like how his arms are still poking out of the ground while he's clearly holding what I hope is his abdomen in death. Alright everybody, just like you learned in elementary school, single file line, only person who's allowed to cut is me, okay? This guy's taking the elementary school thing a little too serious. Finally, the sign that we're almost done. I know I edited most of it out, but this level is like 20 minutes on its own. It also doesn't help that all the backtracking that these crawls make me do adds like an extra minute of just getting back to where I was originally. Despite me editing out a bunch of scavenging, our health pool can't afford to take much more damage right now. Gotta actually turn my brain on for this one. Ah, come on, look at that. My co-op partner's late to the game. You should have helped me with the crawls, dude. With the 4 slices of pizza and 4 health potions, our inventory's looking pretty damn good right now. So does anybody remember near the start of this video in caves when I mentioned an enemy with 99,999 health spawning from those black aura guys? Well, there he is. So full transparency right now, I never actually claimed that I beat Forest, only that it's hypothetically possible. I'm gonna have to bend a lot of rules just to get through this level because we are not wasting 23 extra minutes of perfect play to kill that guy. So yeah, unfortunately this run is kind of botched because I'm going to completely die if I try to fight these enemies while Ouroboros is trying to eat my ass like that. In all fairness, I made it to this point before without having to cheese anything, but the fucking game crashed and my recording stopped, so I don't have any evidence to prove that. So our inventory looks decent enough, but spoiler alert, it's honestly not going to be nearly enough. Did I ever mention that Sulfur is a Christmas game? This is what happens when you don't decorate your tree properly. So if you look at the pathetic amount of damage that we're doing versus the amazing amount of damage that he's doing to us, yeah, the odds are not in our favor. Throughout this entire fight, Terrabomb is going to bless us with the gift of life by mass-producing baby crows to constantly fuck our shit up. So my big complaint about this fight for a melee run isn't the damage output or the minion phases, it's that there's no telling when he's actually going to attack and it's entirely luck-based if I'm even going to dodge or not. Honestly, besides the potential of getting some healing items, there was zero point in me fighting the baby crows. I didn't really have that foresight until later in this fight because, just like every other boss fight in this run, this was my first attempt. Great, even when I'm just sitting at home playing an awesome game, I still can't escape the Christmas music. While I may think that this boss fight is impossible for me, I don't think it's impossible in general. The fact that there's a chance to dodge and we can actually deal damage to him means that, when the stars align, the legend can be felled. Supposedly online it says that he has 13,000 health, so that means it only takes 174 hits to kill him. Putting that number into perspective, that doesn't sound too bad, right? Like, let me break it down even further. I just landed 5 hits on him right now, so if I do that 35 more times, we would win this fight. So realistically, the gist of this fight just boils down to, can we dodge his attacks? And in my case, hell no. In all honesty, I didn't go into this fight thinking that I would actually win. I just wanted to capture footage with a solid attempt. And without learning the dodge patterns, even if I came in here with way more food, it just wouldn't happen. You win this round, Tree, but one day, somebody else will teach you a lesson. Alright, and there you guys have it. I love this game with a passion, and if any of this looked interesting to you, I promise you playing through it normally is a billion times better. Happy holidays if you're watching this during that time, and if you're not, happy random ass day in general. I will probably be working on a few more Sulfur videos in the future, so if you like hearing me blabber, stay tuned. If not, still wish you the best. Anyways, love you. Bye.
This is co-creation, the culmination, LT back breaking the spines of innovation. Translation, I'm a dignified degenerate, a heaven sent lyrical carnation to rappers so effeminate, the penmanship, the presidents just warming up now. Fahrenheit 451 getting booked now. Burn down everything around me, stage set, Supernova remnant, ain't turned the other page yet. Same chapter of my life, different story, but I
never give it up, never give it up, never give.
Acknowledgement to those who ever doubt me. Metaphor